Hi again, it's Carol Duffy here, Senior Play Therapist in Tusla, back to talk to you and show you a few more play ideas, building on some of the skills and ideas and the science and the importance of play that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. So I wanted to build upon the idea of breath work and also add to the a la carte menu, if you like, that you can create and develop using materials that are available to you in your own home to offer your child more sensory and somato play opportunities and ideas. Okay, so what I thought another really nice thing to do is the inside of your kitchen roll holders or your toilet roll holders and make a tunnel out of them. But that can be a really fun way to build upon and increase the breath work opportunities that I talked to you about the last time. Now again, this isn't just rooted to breath work, because even just the sharing of the ideas together and the gathering up the materials and painting them together, all of those things create huge opportunities for playful moments together that promote joy, creative problem solving, again activating all those amazing therapeutic powers of play that are available to us. Okay, like attachment, regulation, stress management, stress inoculation, counter conditioning against stress. And one of the ones that I've mentioned but I haven't spoken about directly is it allows the child's capacity, it facilitates communication. There's a one of the quadrants, if you like, the therapeutic powers of play are divided into 4 quadrants and areas, and one of those is that play can facilitate communication. It allows the child to communicate to you and to build upon their own repertoire and their own lexicon and language. So you can both have a shared language and to communicate about your emotionality. And what that does, it allows the child more sophisticated opportunities, which I've mentioned before, to communicate to you meaningfully what might be going on for them. And they develop the capacity for this really well through play. So all of the opportunities, that a la carte menu that you can develop where you find the play that fits your child and you best. And remember, it doesn't always be the same every day or even the same thing on the same day. It changes in the same way as your mood changes. Our preferences, our sensory preferences, what we orientate ourselves towards or away from can shift depending on the time of the day, depending on the time of the year, depending on our mood, depending on our age and our developmental stage. Okay, so this is another really nice one. Just color, draw, be creative with the inside and use your cotton balls or your pom-poms or your feathers and have a blowing competition. Let's see who can get it through the tunnel. And like I said before, you can increase or decrease the challenge to improve your child's and build upon your child's capacity to tolerate more each time. But it's a nice one to start off like this. So I'm going to blow this feather through and see how far I can get it. Ready? Oh, it came shooting out. Let's see how fast this one comes out. Oh, that came fast too. Let's see if we can get the cotton ball out. And even listen to the sound that it makes. You can make the sound of wind and rain using these things and use them with your chickpeas. A lovely idea could be that you extend the activity, you cut the bottom of a balloon, I'll just show you. And again, these are all opportunities for you to expand on your child's sensory activation. The more active their senses are, the more they get to know their senses, the more they understand their sensory activation, and they're more able to reflect on it and respond to it, which is a key skill for them as they continue to grow. So you can cut the top off a balloon. If you see, I'm just cutting in here. Okay, and balloons are very cheap and accessible in almost every store. And you fold the balloon over the top of your kitchen roll or your toilet roll holder, like that. Depending on how much you have rolled over, you can either sellotape it or glue it down to hold it steady. So here's one I made earlier, and you can tip some chickpeas into it and put the balloon cover on the other side as well, and you've your own little maraca. So you've made your own musical instrument and your own drum. So multiple sensory sound possibilities available there. And just some learning that I had from, again, the wonderful Paris Goodyear Brown that I mentioned to you before. She used the analogy of the maracas shaking beside us. And if any of you have one or make one, you can try this. If that sound is going off beside you, that's a little bit what it is like if you're struggling with anxiety or a hyper focus or a hyper response to something. If your nervous system feels under high levels of threat or challenge or too much demand, it's like a sound going off, and then you can't attend, you can't hear, you're not fully present or fully focused on what actually is happening in any given moment for you. So when we soothe that physiology and take away that loud sound of that maraca, you soothe the anxiety. The child is more able to engage in their environment. Making a maraca allows the child to decide how to activate their senses as and when and if they want to. So again, it's another little part or little parcel that you can add to your a la carte menu of sensory play opportunities that activate all of the senses, or one of them or a few of them in any one go. You can decide. And now I just want to show you another really simple thing that you can make. And it's called a stress ball. Okay, so it's really helpful if you blow the balloon up first, okay, because it gives it more room. So here we go. So get that balloon nice and stretched, okay? Let the air out. And then you can get an old bottle, a little water bottle or a sports bottle your child might have been drinking from, to make your funnel. So you just cut along the top. Again, depending on your child's level of ability, you may have to do this or help them with it, or they may be able themselves. That's a decision you have to make on how well you know your child and what they're able for. So you cut around, which is, again, looks easier than it actually is. Okay, so here's my funnel, the top of the bottle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my balloon around the bottom. Okay, so this acts as my funnel. And I'm going to open up. For today, I'm going to do one with corn flour, but you can use any sensory play material you want. You can use flour, you can use salt, you can use rice, you can use tapioca. The list is endless. And again, that creates multiple opportunities for you to explore with your child. What do you like? Or what do I like? Or what do we both like? So you can explore your sensory preferences together. All of that, again, builds positive experiences of attunement, regulation, sensory activation, positive emotions, all those wonderful therapeutic powers of play that I've been describing to you. So we'll pour in our corn flour. I would always use a basin or a tray when I'm doing this because it can be quite messy. And mess is so good for our children, but not chaotic mess. The mess is really helpful for our children when it has some level of containment. The really, really messy mess I save for maybe outside. And again, going back on the points I mentioned to you before, it still might go wrong. I've seen this in many of the workshops I've done with parents and professionals, that the bag will burst or the tray will fall over and stuff will go on the ground. So these, again, create opportunities. We do our best to minimize it going wrong and to set everybody up for success. But if it goes wrong, everything is an opportunity. Every experience is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for positive connection. Okay, so I'm using a straw to poke the corn flour down the funnel into the balloon. It's getting nice and full, but you can use anything. You can use a spoon, a teaspoon, whatever's handy for you. Okay, just shake it down. Now, I also learned the hard way that if you're going to use water or any other wet substances and things like this, if it's a food substance, it will go off. So these things will have a shelf life. But if it's dry materials, materials that don't go off, then you're good to go and they'll stay for quite some time. You can also scent them. You could put a nice scent in there. Okay, and then this is the tricky bit where you try to peel the balloon off the funnel. And this is the bit where the whatever material is in it can puff back on you, so be aware. So there we go. So here it is, and I'm going to shove it down in. So a nice way to do it, squeeze the tip of the balloon, squish it down like that, and tie a knot. This is often the part that children need help with, and actually many adults. Tying a balloon is harder than you think. But when they get to the point where they're able to tie it, there's great fine motor skills being developed there, and it gives you a huge opportunity to tell that child, wow, look what you can do. Positive self-esteem again. So double knot it, and another really nice, there's a really lovely sensory feeling from that, and you can see So that's really good for a child to be fiddling with. The child who struggles to sit still, or the child who's stressed on their way somewhere or has to go to something that you know is going to be challenging. Having something like this in their pencil case or their school bag or in their coat pocket can be really helpful. And I always double wrap it as well, because there's less chance of it bursting then. So you blow up another, give it a good stretch, stretch it out with your 2 fingers and double wrap. And you can tie it again, it's much more secure and it gives you more resistance again. Okay, so just a few little ideas for you to expand your repertoire of play ideas, and I'm hoping that by now you're seeing that so many of these are available with very low expense and often are just in your kitchen cupboard and you never thought about ways to make it. So you can make a whole range of stress balls, and you can even draw with a marker little emoji faces on them to help build upon your child's capacity to recognize what emotion. What does your anger feel like? Does it feel like this, or is this what happy feels like? And build and expand upon their potential and their capacity to understand, to reflect on, to recognize, and be able to communicate their emotions effectively and respond to them effectively with you. Okay? Thanks again, guys. Find some time to put some play in your day. See you next time.